What's up guys, Ted from Immersion here, and I'm back with another D&D weekly update. I've been off for about 3 weeks by accident, no fault of my own, except it actually is, because no one's forcing me to put these out except for myself. Coming back from PAX, a little bit of recovery there, and then just the amount of content that's been out, I've been rushing to make videos for those. I haven't had a chance to do an update, so you're going to want to stay tuned. There's been some new shows, couple of new live streams, some new video shows that have come out since then, a couple of Unearthed Arcana, and some other really interesting news about potentially a new campaign setting. So stay tuned. So, let's just jump right in. A couple of things. There's going to be some videos and whatnot, but we'll go through and see as much as we can get done as fast as we can. So, first up, We Love Fine has some pint glasses here for $10 each. There is Neverwinter, Baldur's Gate, and Sword Coast. We got Neverwinter, let's say Summer Ale, Baldur's Gate Pale Ale, and Sword Coast Legendary IPA. So you can check those out at We Love Fine. Again, as always, all the links will be in the description. Jerry Holkins, this was back on the 9th. Prior to PAX, I was on the Dragontalk podcast with Greg Tito and Shelly Mazanoble to talk about Acquisitions Incorporated Team C. There has been 2 streams of this since. This is on Hyper RPG every Thursday night. I believe it's from 6 to 9 Pacific or 6 to 8 Pacific. I'm not entirely sure of the time, but he's on there talking about it. And lore you should know topic for this week is White Plume Mountain, which again is one of the dungeons contained here within Tales from the Yawning Portal. Tales from the Yawn. Okay, so there's actually a couple of contests that I'm pretty excited about. So, we're asking for your thoughts on especially fiendish, strange, or otherwise unexpected Lich Phylacteries. I don't know if this is still up and running. It ends tomorrow, so you probably won't even see this, but they've done this in the past with the Elemental Evil Trinkets and the Things in a Giant's Bag. You put in your first and last name, your age, and you submit a suggestion, and this is to kind of get your suggestion in an future issue of Dragon Plus. Again, I am still planning on doing the February Dragon Plus review. I realize I'm way late on that, but I'm basically reading a magazine to you guys, so I want to be sure that I can kind of have as much of it in there, understood ahead of time, so I can kind of speed through it, so I'm not just literally reading a magazine to you. Unless that's the thing you guys want, let me know. Okay, so D&D Beyond was announced at PAX prior to the Acquisitions Incorporated panel. It is live. You can sign in with your Twitch account. There's a lot of people complaining that it's tied to your Twitch account. Why is it tied to your Twitch account and not, a Google account or something like that? Because tabletop gamers don't necessarily have a Twitch account. But you can see the beta phase. This basically has everything that's in the OGL. All the stuff, monsters, compendiums, kind of anything that would be, you can see. I don't know if we can see it when we're not logged in. No, you have to log in. But basically, you can see the rules, spells, items, monsters, and there's an attached forum. It's pretty cool. I don't know what kind of stuff we're going to get to see in the future. You can see Beta Phase 2 is Character Builder and Character Sheet, and Beta Phase 3 is Homebrew Integration and Campaign Management. I'm very excited for that, because as it is right now, we have to use I'll call them third-party websites, like Obsidian Portal or something similar, to kind of track your own campaign. And kind of build like a Wikipedia essentially for your game. This is the only reason I say third party is because technically D&D Beyond is sponsored by Wizards of the Coast, so they're involved with it, so you might get a little bit better. The character builder is exciting. People are pumped because the character builder, you can see you can get it on a tablet or a phone. There's Drizzt here in this character tablet, so you can get a look at his stats potentially. Whether or not those are accurate will be, I'm sure, debated. This is Drow Fighter 11, Ranger 8. I feel like there should be a level of Barbarian in there to represent the Hunter, but that's besides the point. So go check it out. It's free. As long as you have a Twitch account, you can link it, and then you can get access to see I really like the spell sorting ability. You can sort by a lot of different options as well as the magic items. It's cool. What level will I be able or you be able to use it in your games going forward? I don't know. But nonetheless, it's still pretty cool. Alright, D&D was at PAX East. I'm going to pause this because we don't want to have that going on. The Acquisitions Incorporated video that was released at PAX has now been put out on YouTube, so you can go and check that out.
They created me.
I will go ahead and put a link to that in the description as well. Make sure nothing's playing. Okay, so Monday the 13th, they released the updated Mystic class. This is a full 20th level class that has a ton of versatility. It's the first delve into psionics. This is the third time they've approached this topic, which again, the more times they approach things and put it out in Unearthed Arcana again and again, makes me believe that makes it the next one to kind of end up in a campaign book, and we're going to talk about something interesting about that later on. I would go check it out. There'll be a link in the description. It's a long read. It is a big document. There is like 5 or 6 archetypes within that, on top of all the disciplines and basically the cantrips and spells. Okay, on the 16th, Experiment 7 was on the Dragontalk podcast. They are the folks behind D&D or Dungeon Chess. And we had The Lawyer You Should Know was on the Moonshae Isles. They said, see the bibliography below. Here you go. Dungeon Chess, as far as I can tell, is virtual reality, like the old school computer chess master games we used to have, or like Harry Potter Wizard Chess, if that's more your style, where the figures move and attack each other. But from what I can tell, it's still chess, but it's just virtual reality chess with D&D characters to represent the various pieces. Coming in 2017, you have VR, Oculus VR, or Oculus Rift and Samsung VR. As you can see, the beholders are the rooks, as an example. So, epic chess battles, kinetic battle animations bring chess to life, iconic D&D characters, step into the Yawning Portal, play dungeon chess, or any magic table in Faerun's legendary Yawning Portal Tavern. Big focus on the Yawning Portal. Multi-tier AI, and friendly and ranked multiplayer. Okay. This past Monday, the 20th, they did the Wizard Revisited. So this was another Unearthed Arcana where we got 2 new, I'm going to use that with air quotes, 1 republished and 1 new Wizard Arcane Tradition. The one that was republished was the Theurgy. If you're familiar with older editions, this is essentially the Mystic Thurge, a combination of divine magics with arcane magics. What does this mean to you guys? A wizard with cleric spells and the potential to heal, as well as the ability to get a cleric's 17th level ability at level 14. It was released last September or August, I believe. They tuned up a little bit. Basically, mechanically, it's exactly the same, but they tuned up a little bit of the wording to make things a little bit easier to understand. But again, it's been in 2 books, which makes me think that our next published book, we may be getting this as an official published class. The other one is War Magic. Again, I've done full videos on this as well as the Mystic, so you can check those out on the channel. But a little bit of primer, the War Magic Wizard is basically I'm not going to call him a melee wizard because that's sort of covered by Bladesinger, but a wizard that's willing to kind of step into the fray and maybe take a hit or two. And they have a lot of abilities that allow them to mitigate that, and things that allow them to do extra damage in combat or gain bonuses on their concentration and their AC, and just kind of deal radial damage when they use certain abilities. This was kind of a lot of this I was unaware of. So this is thanks to the folks at Gale Force 9. They are coming up with localized versions of all of the 5th edition D&D books. So I didn't actually read this article ahead of time, so forgive me, I'm going to kind of be going through it with you guys. So Gale Force 9, they're going to start with the Player's Handbook, Dungeon Master Guide, and Monster Manual, and the starter set, as well as the accessories that they've created. Go figure, makes sense. First translations will be French, German, Italian, Japanese, Spanish, Polish, and Portuguese, with more to follow. Again, this is all great news. This is to help get and spread the game and bring awareness of Dungeons and Dragons, or make things easier so people aren't probably having to do Google Translate or read it in not their native language. And there's a couple of questions down here. Why have you chosen Gale Force 9 instead of working directly in each country? Partnering with one licensee on the program ensures a consistent rollout. Will translated products be for sale at my friendly local game store? The distribution varies by country, but for the most part, your local hobby shop and bookstore channels should have access to these products. Price is comparable to the US and the UK. And how do people in each market find out more? You can go ahead and check out the Gale Force 9 website right here. This was something I was excited about. So this has been going on. I think we're going to have to take a look at it because I just got the concept of it and then I just got excited and got sidetracked. So essentially, it is a bracket, but for monsters. So with the release of Volo's Guide to Monsters, we are coming up with our creature competition. Starting today, March 23rd, you'll vote on which creature from each pair you'll choose to advance, whether based on combat prowess, popularity, etc. From 16, we'll narrow this down to 8. The next round of voting takes place next week, March 27th. From 8, this will go down to 4. After these rounds of voting, we'll be down to our chosen 4 creatures. Members of the D&D team will assume control of one of these creatures during a future live stream event, where they'll battle with CR balanced versions of these creatures in D&D combat. Later, last monster standing wins and reigns as brand champion, earning all due honors and accolades. Click begin to access the bracket. You know what? Let's go through it. I'll do it myself. So, Miami Mimics versus the New Jersey Flumps. See, again, this is tricky because based on combat prowess, a Mimic should beat a Flump. But a Flump, I'm gonna say is more popular, but I'm gonna pick the Mimics. So I'm gonna vote for the Mimics. The Humboldt County Myconoids versus the Minnesota Mind Flayers. Mind Flayers got to take that. Okay. Lake Geneva Bugbears versus the Seattle Trolls. I'm going to say the Trolls would win. Again, the way my thought process behind this is if people are going to take control of these, again, in a CR balanced way, I want my monster to win. The Louisiana Lich versus the Durham Driders. The Lich is going to beat a Drider any day. New York Gnolls versus the Utah Umberhulks. While I'd love to rep New York and say Gnolls, Umberhulks would take Gnolls in a fight any day. Baltimore Beholders over Gelatinous Cube. Although the Gelatinous Cube may win based on popularity, I'm choosing the Baltimore Beholders. Los Angeles Land Sharks versus the Houston Hellhounds. I love bullets. I think they're fantastic. I'm going to pick them. Portland Owlbears versus the Bay Area Blink Dogs. I'm a big sucker for Owlbears too. So it looks like the Mimics are in the lead to take this game. So let's go ahead and check the bracket. So here we go. So I guess we'll have to see what happens. This is actually kind of exciting to see a monster on monster combat. I'm pumped. So I'll probably be live tweeting or at least watching it along with you guys. Dylan Sprouse was on Pug Crawl, so the name probably is familiar to you guys. Big Daddy, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. He was brought into play in the resumption finale episode of Fourth Grade Giant Hunters, but he's been playing D&D since he was on set as a child actor, and he's jumped into full force with Pug Crawl streams on Twitch. So they talked to him all about that, and the lore you should know is all about Warlock Pacts. That's actually, you can see here's his character from 4th grade. He's been working on setting up a meadery in Brooklyn, New York. Hey, that's local. That could be kind of interesting. And again, I would say, yeah, lore you should know about Warlock Pacts is fairly interesting. Before Greg gets the date of Meltdown Shopping Network debut. Okay, I'm not sure what that's about, but I think it's coming right here. So, we're probably going to have to pause this once it goes live, but Meltdown Comics was doing a Tales from the Yawning Portal. Again, the book's out already, but 4-hour live stream, gameplay and creator interviews featuring brand new expansion and associated merch, including t-shirt, dice, downloads, codes, shoutouts, autographs, and poster prints. Featuring Dylan Sprouse, Greg Tito, and, you know, well, we can go ahead and why don't we go check out the Meltdown Shopping Network and just see what we can find. Now playing the repeat of the Tales from the Yawning Portal Pug Crawl. What do we got down here? D&D Package 1, Package 2, Package 3. We've got Chibi D&D Sublimated Leggings, signed copy of Tales from the Yawning Portal. A couple of t-shirts. Green Devil Dice Bag with D&D Dice. Unfortunately, that's sold out. D&D Mug. D&D Notebook in black, which is also sold out. Official D&D Dice Bag. Can we click to buy these? Tomb of Horrors Cloth Map. Gold Accented Stein, $200. Beholder Dice Bag. D&D Black Ampersand Hat and a D&D Map Scarf. Let's click buy. Do we get to... Why is this not letting me scroll up? I don't know. Okay, well, whatever. You get the point. I'm going to check some of this stuff out. The dice bag sounds interesting to me because I really love the D&D dice. I really, just the design of them, the smoky gray with the red numbers, I really like that. I'd like to see what this notebook is. And having a D&D mug is fine by me, kind of fitting if you ask me. And I'm curious if the dice in this bag were green, but again, I can't get it to scroll up. So I don't know what that's about. But anyway, moving on. So, Joe, I don't even know how to pronounce his last name, Manganello. He was on Dragontalk a little bit ago, but he's doing a thing called Celeb D&D, or Celebra D&D. I'll let the video speak for itself.
I'm Archon.
The loading. Sorry, folks. We might have to just skip this, because if the video is going to sit here and load on the Nerdist website, I'm going to try reloading it, but I don't know why it's doing that. Maybe we'll blame Firefox, since it's the only thing that works in the current version of OBS that I have. Give it one more shot. No? Okay. Oh, maybe. Or a ad for Poopery.
You know the feeling. Nothing
All
is
right.
worse than stinking up the shared toilet at work.
Well, that's that, because that was super annoying. But anyway, there's a new show called Celeb D&D, or Celebra D&D. It's a Nerdist show, but I believe it's only on Alpha, so you have to pay for it to watch it. But it's where celebrities play D&D with folks from Nerdist and Geek and Sundry. I believe Matt Mercer is the DM for this one. There's some folks from the Nerdist team. This one also stars Marisha Ray and Taliesin Jaffe. So that's, but they're actually playing Keyleth and Percy in this game. And from what Matt said on last week's Critical Role, it's when they're younger and it's technically canon to the universe. So whatever happens in that game technically has future-based impact on Percy and Keyleth. So that's kind of cool. I like spin-off games that are contained within the same world. Dungeon Life here has a video all about, it's a long video.
Tales from the Yawning Portal is unusual among the 5th edition books.
I actually think we've seen this video earlier.
7 adventures all collected into
This is Mike Merle's? Oh no, it's not.
And on top of that, a number of those adventures are classics that people have loved for decades. And so we not only wanted the book to meet our usual design principles for 5th edition, both game design-wise and in terms of visuals, but we also had to make sure we were still being faithful to the original adventures. And that faithfulness was not only on the text side, but also on the art side. I know often, Kate, when commissioning the art, you were looking at
the original pieces of art, and I was using those as references. Even if we weren't doing a frame-by-frame homage to the original art, those pieces of art would become part of the reference that I would send to the artist. And
this is like a
sometimes
4th
it would be
edition.
like,
Hey, look, I'm on that page. Hey!
We don't
That
want
looks like a 4th edition
a horn
art.
sticking out of its head. We want it to look like the 5th edition version of that monster. And we do that in other respects too with other adventures, but this, because we were so beholden to keeping the adventures at their core, what they originally were, and just updating the stats and some of the wording so that it felt like 5th edition. But really, these are the adventures that you know and love. And so we didn't want to go too crazy, but it definitely had to fit into the 5th edition. The style of monsters that we're doing now, the style of art that we're doing now, the style of maps that we're doing now. There were, well, 2 of the adventures we used the original maps because those had been done by Mike Schley, who continues to work with us. The Giants adventure has some maps that were done by Rob Lazzaretti originally, and they weren't in the original, but we did a reboot of it. And I can't even remember when that happened. But so those maps are included in the book, but all of the other maps are new original maps that are updated with the 5th edition look. There were things that resonated with people, including people on our team, like, well, this has to be shown because this is the thing that I remember the most, this fight, we have to do this. So there were a lot of things like that where we were really trying to stay true to what people expect. We want to surprise you too, but we don't want to go so far outside with this particular book that you're like, that just didn't feel like Hidden Shrine of Tamachan.
Right.
Tamachan?
Yeah. We wanted to keep the adventures as close to the original experience as possible. I've gotten some questions of, did we redesign the adventures to be more like a modern D&D adventure? And the answer is we didn't. What we did is we took, Tomb of Horrors, and it's still Tomb of Horrors, the Tomb of Horrors that Gary Gygax wrote, but just with 5th edition stats. In a few places, some additional clarity, maybe some additional descriptive text to make the DM's life a bit better and describing a particular room and whatnot. But all of that additional work we did is based on material that was there originally, whether it was text or illustration.
We based all of these adventures that were as if they were kind of coming from the Yawning Portal that Durnan was telling. He's the guy that's everyone's telling their stories to, and he's kind of the base point. So even though it was a challenge that there are these 7 different adventures over a huge stretch of time,
and in different worlds,
they still needed to have something to tie them together, some kind of flavor. So having that they were all coming from this pub, that all the adventures start here, all the stories come here, all the great people have come through. Yeah, it was kind of a really nice way to anchor things down. So like the Yawning Portal, there's like a glyph, a symbol that kind of repeats itself throughout the whole book. And that was kind of a really happy accident way to tie everything together.
Because it's the glyph you came up, that's the symbol of the pub.
That's on his little beer stein and everything, so.
And I love how you took that symbol, and as you're paging through the book, it's easy to think it's just sort of like almost a rune or something. But if you then go back and you look at the beginning of the book, it's like, wait a second, that's the symbol of the Yawning Portal.
That's his thing. Yeah.
Thanks for watching this video. I'm Todd Kenrick, and this is Dungeon Life. It's a brand new video series dedicated to Dungeons and Dragons. So we'll have interviews with D&D creators, community members, community spotlights. We're going to have reviews of new D&D products, and also tabletop D&D live streams as well. And we really appreciate everyone who sent us messages supporting these videos, and we're going to try to keep on making those videos. We're going to be using Patreon. People that support Dungeon Life on Patreon get early access to videos.
Okay, that's enough of that. Lastly, the biggest news is this counter. So if you go to the D&D Facebook page, I saw it there, and it says, what's this counter about? Planescape? What's this about? And you can see up top it says Planescape, and it has a countdown. I saw a lot of younger folks saying, oh my god, it's a D&D themed escape room, which, in all honesty, it could be. But I think a lot more of us are thinking, when you read it like this, that this is possibly the announcement of Planescape bringing back a whole new setting that's not Forgotten Realms, the Planescape setting, that's what this is. And this is a countdown to when they're going to announce it. Whether or not that's true, we'll have to find out in 2 days, 24 hours, 31 minutes, and 42 seconds. But I don't know. I'm excited at the prospect. I know a lot of other people are. It'd be nice. I mean, I was hoping to maybe get Eberron or Greyhawk as our first kind of foray into something not Forgotten Realms. But I understand why they're doing Forgotten Realms for the majority of the things, because there's so much lore and history and, you know, novels and other ways to expand things. So anyway, guys, that's pretty much it for this week. So thank you so much for coming out and checking out this video. It ran a little bit longer than expected, but I was covering 3 weeks and there was a lot of stuff announced. So you can check out up here to see our most recent episode of Out of the Abyss. This was last Tuesday. After leaving the Abyss and getting some time on the surface and thinking the group was done, the party found out that they were called back by King Brunner Battlehammer himself to the city of Gauntlgrim, and this details their slow journey back to Gauntlgrim. Here in the middle was also from this past Monday. That was Horde of the Dragon Queen, where I play every other Monday online with a few of my friends. Things got interesting. The party made their way out of the dragon hatchery, but then there was a very unsettling and dark party betrayal moment by one of the characters who attempted to, depending on who you ask, kill innocent dragon eggs or the party, and then fled the scene, potentially to never be seen again, and a new character was introduced. And then down the bottom here is Curse of Strahd. This video this most recent one just came out earlier today, Saturday, as I'm filming this, and yeah, it's a little bit long, and it's a little bit sad. Characters that you guys have gotten to know over the course of, well, I guess spoilers for anybody who's who hasn't caught up on Curse of Strahd, but characters that you guys have gotten to know and love over 19 episodes are brought down at the hand of 3 hags and a coven due to one party member's direwolf transformation and Howl alerting them all to our presence all at once. And yeah, we barely, none of us made it out alive. So you get to watch a live TPK, or a recorded TPK. But anyway, guys, sorry to bring that down there at the end. You can click down below here to subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date on these 3 campaigns, as well as several other various campaigns, the Unearthed Arcana reviews weekly, Kickstarter spotlights, DM's Guild spotlights, these weekly videos, as well as D&D 101 and DIY stuff, and whatever other little things I feel like throwing out there. So, hope you enjoyed it, guys. Sorry for the delay on this video, but a lot of news came out, and now it all got one long video rather than a few short ones. So, I will see you next time.